Great. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This goes to all the residents of Brighton and Hove. Some valuable information for you today. I asked my landlord to pass on the council tax bill to me so that I would be able to take care of the matter for him. And he happily said, "Oh yes, I'd love to pass on the tax to you." So I received a letter from the council, and it's over here. Doesn't say my name, it just says the owner or occupier. Here it is. Council tax must be paid. Give us your details. So, I don't like giving private information out. So what I did, I tried to contact the council and I wrote them a lovely letter stating that this is private information and I have no obligation to give that out. So, the lovely lady replied to me. I believe her name is Anne, and she has said the following. "Thank you for your email. The letter you received was sent by the department as we had been informed that a new occupant is living at the address. Moi. It is your legal responsibility to inform us of your move, and failure to inform us could lead to a fine. No. We do not need your consent to make you liable for the council tax, as council tax is mandatory. Please can you confirm when your tenancy started at this address, who else is living at the address, and if any of these occupants are full-time students. Regards, Anne Fitzgerald." Lovely. So Anne's telling me she knows the law. She doesn't need my consent to pay council tax. It's mandatory. I have to pay it by law. So what I did, I went on to the government legislation website. Decided to, find out if all this information that this lady is saying is correct. So I went to the definition of legislation. As you do. What the hell is legislation? According to the law dictionaries, legislation, a legislative rule of society given the force of law by the consent of the governed. Consent of the governed. Permission of the governed. Permission of me. I don't give permission. No. So, I decided to go onto the website again. I don't know if you can see it there. This is the legislation.gov.uk website. So I decided to go on Bill of Exchange Act 1882. Very important. Why? It says here, a bill of exchange is an unconditional order in writing addressed to one person to another, signed by the person giving it, requiring the person to whom it's addressed to pay the demand or at a fixed determinable future time a sum a certain money to the order of a specified person or the bearer. So they're saying it has to be signed. Me no see no signature. So rubber stamped is not signed. Someone needs to take liability. So according to the law, it's not a lawful bill. Second point I want to make. It says here, Local Government Act 1888. Long time ago. Section 79, subsection 2. All duties and liabilities of the inhabitants of the county shall become and be duties and liabilities of the council such as the county. Really? You're telling me all my liabilities as an inhabitant of Brighton and Hove goes to the council? I like this government. Next section. Is the Magistrates Court Act of 1980. The reason why I've decided to go on this section is because when you actually turn up to court and the administrators of the court say to you, "You're gonna pay, get your money," now. Everyone usually says, okay, bye. So, I've decided to understand why do they say that, and what we can use as members of the public as remedy. Because they're presuming that you owe them money. It says here, under subsection 111, statement of case by magistrate's court. Any person who was party to a proceeding before a magistrate's court or is aggrieved by the conviction, order, determination or other proceedings of the court may question the proceeding on the grounds that it is wrong in law, not legal, in law, and is excess of its jurisdiction by applying to the justice's composition of the courts to state a case for the opinion of the High Court. Does that mean there is someone on top of them who tells them what is the law? Why the hell would someone do that? Shouldn't the magistrates know the law? Let's find out. So what I did, I decided to use the lovely internet again, and I pulled up a lovely PDF file of serving as a magistrate. Love the government. So, I decided to go down. How do I become a magistrate? What is the duties and responsibilities of a magistrate? Apparently, anybody can become a magistrate. It says here, your training. See that? Your training. Induction core training before you sit in the court. This will normally be for the equivalent of 3 days, 18 hours, and may be delivered over a long weekend in a series of short evening sessions over several weeks, over 3 separate weeks or days, or a residential course. You're telling me the old Joe down the road could just apply to be a magistrate and become a magistrate that quick? So, I decided to go down a bit further, and they've even got lovely quotes. Here is a quote from Jenny Kerr. She's a magistrate. She's quoted, "Serving as a magistrate is totally different from what people expect. You're mixing with very like-minded people, and you don't need a legal background." Did I just read that right? You don't need a legal background, just a lot of common sense. Oh my. So these guys sitting on the bench are your average Joe administrators telling me and you, you're gonna pay. Says who? Who says I've got to pay you? Do we have a contract? Do I have an obligation? Have I breached contract? How are you going to make me pay? So, when you guys turn up to court, if you do want to avoid paying your council tax, because to be honest with you guys, we don't need to pay it. None of us do. We're free people. Which means, when I turn up to the court, I look at the 3 administrators and say, I don't recognise you, or you. Because at the end of the day, they're just 3 solicitors or 3 members of the public sitting there acting as magistrates. No lawful power whatsoever. If they've got an oath of office, fair enough. Oath of office would be them taking allegiance and protecting the law. The law. Not legal, the law. And in this country, it's common law. Cause no harm, loss, damage, or fraud. I like that. Pretty simple. I can remember all that. So, next step to do, turn up to court and tell them exactly what I've learned. And hopefully we'll be able to get remedy. As soon as we go in there, we'd like to state a case for the opinion of the High Courts, because I don't have a contract with the council. They're ordering me to pay some money. Says who? Who makes you Lord of me? So, once we turn up, we're just going to say to them all these things that are on their own website, the local government's website, because these guys have to follow due process of law. They have to be kept in check, otherwise, whoosh, somebody going to get hurt. Another thing I found interesting, this was in the local paper.